Okay, this is the fourth section of the 14th chapter of Principles of Psychology, pages 627 to 637 in the book. So this section begins with, is personality stable across situations? There is a person-situation debate. It is a question of whether behavior can be better explained by a person's internal characteristics or by the surroundings. A researcher discovered that one could more accurately predict what a person would do if one knows the situation than if one knows who the person is, and this is connected to social learning theory. However, everything cannot be attributed to the situation, and the interactionists are personality psychologists who acknowledge the importance of situation in assessing current behavior and the importance of personality in understanding someone's average behavior. So, the next part of the section, and the majority of the section, is social influences on personality. It begins with temperament of babies, offers some prediction of adult personality scores. Genes play a role, but interaction with other people likely does as well. Social learning is changes in behavior brought about by interacting with other individuals, and there are behaviorist, cognitive, and cultural perspectives on this, which the section goes into detail. The behaviorist perspective. Personality development relies heavily on how the parents interact with a child. The behaviorist perspective emphasizes on observable behavior and the events that precede it. A child may misbehave. For example, a child may misbehave to receive parental attention, and they will likely stop misbehaving when the attention is not given. Response tendencies are, according to behaviorist perspective, they are particular ways of reacting to various situations based on past learning experiences, which together form the personality. And behaviors lost the campaign to explain personality away as nothing more than learned response tendencies. So, now we move on to the cognitive perspective. The cognitive perspective it focuses on the fact that cognitive processes contribute to shaping the personality. The locus of control is the individual's perception about whether his or her efforts in life will be reinforced, and there's the internal locus of control, so whether or not, they believe their own efforts have anything to do with it, and there's the external locus of control, whether it's the efforts of an outside party or factor. Self-efficacy is the belief that you are capable, that you have the ability to succeed and to master a particular situation. Without self-efficacy, one is less likely to reach self-actualization. Social modeling is the tendency of individuals to mimic behavior of others. Self-efficacy is based on self-perception along with social perception, so how you perceive yourself along with how others perceive you. And reciprocal determinism is a theory that three different factors mutually influence one another. That is, personal factors, environmental factors, and the individual's behavior. Lastly, there's the cultural perspective. The cross-cultural psychology compares different cultures and the difference in how people behave from one culture to another, as the name of the perspective suggests. These contribute, but Americans of Asian descent have significantly different personalities from those raised in Asian cultures, according to studies, despite the same gene pool. And American culture tends to focus more on individualism rather than Asian cultures, a lot of which tend to focus on collectivism. And because the section was short enough and the rest of this really was not worth putting on its own slide, even though it doesn't relate, it goes under this section. Phineas Gage went from prized personality to a personality that repulsed people. In other words, he was industrious, he was polite, etc. And then his accent, the bar going through his head, kind of changed that, and he became a irritable person whom people would have preferred not to affiliate with. The accident caused damage to his frontal lobes, which scientists have come to discover impulse control is related to the frontal lobes. And the section ends with the box, do non-human animals have personalities? I recommend you read it. It's probably very enjoyable. And that's all for now. I believe, yes, as a matter of fact, it is. Thank you for listening.